Mister, are you sad because you forgot how to dream? Asked 8-year-old Emma Martinez as she sat next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on a hospital bench. Shai had just received devastating news that his father was fighting cancer, and he felt like his entire world was collapsing. But this little girl, who was battling her own life-threatening illness with unshakable optimism, was about to teach a professional athlete the most important lesson about hope, resilience, and why dreams matter more than victories. The date was August 14, 2024. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander sat alone on a bench in the pediatric oncology wing of Mercy Hospital in Oklahoma City, struggling to process the news he had received 2 hours earlier. His father, Vaughn, had been diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer, and the doctors had given him less than a year to live. At 26 years old, Shai had achieved everything he had dreamed of in basketball: MVP awards, championships, and recognition as one of the game's elite players. But none of that success had prepared him for the devastating reality that he might lose the man who had been his greatest supporter and closest friend. Shai had come to the hospital immediately after receiving the phone call from his mother, but when he arrived at his father's room, the emotions had overwhelmed him. He needed a few minutes to compose himself before seeing his father, so he had stepped into the hallway to gather his thoughts. The pediatric wing was quiet except for the occasional sound of medical equipment and hushed conversations between nurses and families. Shai had chosen this particular bench because it was secluded and he didn't expect to be recognized or disturbed. But as he sat with his head in his hands, trying to understand how his father's diagnosis would change everything, he heard a small voice beside him. "Mister, are you sad because you forgot how to dream?" Shai looked up to see a young girl with a bright pink headscarf covering her bald head, sitting on the other end of the bench. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old, but her eyes held a wisdom and kindness that seemed far beyond her years. "I'm sorry, what did you say?" Shai asked, surprised by the directness of her question. The girl smiled, revealing a gap where she had lost her front teeth. "My name is Emma Martinez. I'm 8 years old and I have something called leukemia, which means my blood is sick. But I'm not sad about it because I have really big dreams that are stronger than being sick." Emma's matter-of-fact explanation of her condition, delivered with the innocence and optimism that only a child could possess, caught Shai completely off guard. "Emma, it's nice to meet you. I'm Shai. And no, I'm not sad because I forgot how to dream. I'm sad because someone I love is very sick." Emma nodded thoughtfully, as if she completely understood the complexity of loving someone who was facing a serious illness. "Is it your daddy?" she asked with the genuine concern that children show when they recognize pain in others. "Yes, it's my dad," Shai replied, surprised by how easily he found himself talking to this young stranger about his most personal fears. But what Emma said next would begin to change Shai's entire perspective on loss, hope, and the power of maintaining dreams even in the darkest circumstances. "My daddy cried a lot when I first got sick," Emma said, swinging her legs from the bench that was too high for her feet to reach the floor. "He thought that being sick meant I couldn't have dreams anymore. But I told him that dreams don't come from your body, they come from your heart, and my heart isn't sick at all." Emma explained that she had been battling leukemia for 2 years, undergoing chemotherapy treatments that made her tired and caused her hair to fall out. But instead of focusing on her illness, she spent her time thinking about all the things she wanted to do when she got better. "I'm going to be a teacher when I grow up," Emma said with absolute certainty. "I want to teach kids who are sad or scared that they can still have amazing dreams even when bad things happen to them." Shai was amazed by Emma's resilience and optimism in the face of such serious challenges. "Emma, how do you stay so positive when you're dealing with something so difficult?" Emma's answer would provide Shai with insights that no coach, therapist, or motivational speaker had ever offered. "Because being sad about being sick doesn't make me any less sick, but being happy about my dreams makes everything better." She explained that her parents and doctors had taught her that focusing on positive thoughts and exciting possibilities helped her body heal faster and made the difficult treatments more manageable. "When I'm getting my medicine that makes me feel yucky, I close my eyes and think about my classroom full of kids who are learning to believe in themselves. It makes the yucky feeling go away faster." However, what Emma shared about her dreams and plans for the future would demonstrate a level of hope and determination that would inspire Shai to reconsider his own approach to adversity. Emma began describing her detailed plans for her future classroom, complete with bright colors, comfortable reading corners, and special activities designed to help children develop confidence and courage. "I want to have a dream wall where every kid can write down their biggest dream and put it up for everyone to see," Emma explained enthusiastically. "And when kids are feeling scared or sad, we can look at the dream wall and remember that beautiful things are coming." Emma's vision was so vivid and specific that Shai found himself genuinely excited about her plans, temporarily forgetting his own worries as he listened to her describe the impact she wanted to have on children's lives. Emma, that sounds like an amazing classroom. How did you come up with these ideas? Emma's response revealed the depth of wisdom that serious illness can sometimes create in young minds. When you're in the hospital a lot, you meet lots of kids who are scared and sad. I learned that the kids who do best are the ones who have something exciting to think about that's bigger than being sick. Emma described how she had observed other children during her treatments, noting that those who maintained hope and excitement about their futures seemed to handle their medical challenges with greater resilience. The kids who only think about being sick get sadder and sadder. But the kids who think about their dreams get stronger and stronger even when their bodies are weak. Shai realized that Emma had developed her own philosophy about hope and resilience through direct experience with life-threatening challenges that most adults never face. But what Emma said next would provide Shai with a completely new understanding of how to support his father through his cancer battle. "Mr. Shai, what dreams does your daddy have?" Emma asked. "Maybe instead of being sad together, you could help him think about all the exciting things he still wants to do." Shai thought about his father's interests and passions beyond their family relationship. Vaughn had always talked about wanting to travel to Africa to explore his family's heritage, writing a book about his experiences as a professional athlete in Europe, and spending more time teaching basketball to young players in underserved communities. "You know what, Emma? My dad does have dreams that he's never accomplished. Maybe you're right that we should focus on those instead of just worrying about his illness." Emma clapped her hands together excitedly. "Yes, that's exactly right. When people focus on their dreams, their hearts get stronger, and strong hearts help bodies fight better." Emma explained that her own medical team had told her parents that maintaining positive emotions and excitement about the future could actually improve treatment outcomes and quality of life. "Dreams are like medicine for your feelings," Emma said with the confidence of someone who had tested this theory extensively. "And when your feelings are healthy, everything else gets healthier too." However, what happened when Emma's mother found them talking would demonstrate the profound impact that maintaining hope and dreams could have on entire families facing medical crises. "Emma, there you are," called a woman approaching the bench with a mixture of relief and concern. "You can't just wander off like that, sweetheart." As Emma's mother, Maria Martinez, got closer, she recognized Shai and looked surprised to find her daughter deep in conversation with a professional athlete. "Oh my goodness, you're Shai Gilgeous-Alexander," Maria said. "Emma, you didn't tell me you were talking to the Thunder player." Emma looked confused. "He plays Thunder? Like storms?" Shai and Maria both smiled at Emma's innocent misunderstanding. "No, sweetheart," Maria explained. "He plays basketball for a team called the Thunder." Emma's eyes lit up with excitement. "Basketball? I love basketball. I'm going to teach my students how to play basketball in my classroom." Maria looked at Shai apologetically. "I'm sorry if she was bothering you. Emma has been dealing with leukemia for 2 years, and sometimes she gets very social when she's feeling good." Shai's response surprised both Emma and her mother, Mrs. Martinez. "Emma wasn't bothering me at all. Actually, she's been helping me work through some difficult news about my own father's health. Her perspective on maintaining dreams during challenging times has been incredibly helpful." Maria's expression softened as she understood that the conversation had been meaningful for both of them. Emma has always been wise beyond her years, especially since her diagnosis. She's taught our entire family how to focus on hope and possibilities rather than fear and limitations. But what Maria shared about Emma's impact on other children in the oncology ward would show Shai the broader influence that one person's optimism and dreams could have on an entire community. "Mr. Gilgeous-Alexander, Emma has become an unofficial cheerleader for all the kids in this wing," Maria explained. "She visits other families, shares her dreams about becoming a teacher, and somehow makes everyone feel more hopeful about their own futures." Maria described how Emma had created hand-drawn pictures of her future classroom to share with other young patients, encouraging them to visualize their own dreams and goals beyond their current medical treatments. "The doctors and nurses tell us that Emma's positive attitude is contagious. Kids who meet her start talking about their own dreams again, and parents begin focusing on possibilities rather than just medical challenges." Shai realized that Emma was already functioning as the teacher she dreamed of becoming, using her own experience with adversity to help others maintain hope and courage. "Emma, you're already teaching people important lessons about courage and hope," Shai told her. "You don't have to wait until you grow up to start being the teacher you want to be." However, what Shai decided to do as a result of meeting Emma would create opportunities for both of them to pursue their dreams in ways neither had anticipated. Shai asked Maria if he could stay in touch with Emma and possibly arrange for her to visit Thunder games and meet other players who might benefit from her wisdom and perspective. Mrs. Martinez, I think Emma could teach our entire team valuable lessons about maintaining hope and focus during challenging times. Would you be open to her becoming an unofficial team consultant? Maria was amazed by the suggestion, but Emma was practically bouncing with excitement. I could teach basketball players about dreams, Emma exclaimed. And maybe they could help me practice teaching. Shai explained his vision of Emma working with Thunder players to develop mental resilience and perspective, while the team could provide resources and support for her medical treatments and educational goals. What if we created a program where Emma shares her dream philosophy with our players, and in return, we establish a foundation to support her medical care and eventually fund her education to become the teacher she wants to be? The partnership that emerged from that hospital bench conversation would transform both Emma's life and the Thunder organization's approach to mental health and resilience. But what happened during Emma's first visit to the Thunder training facility would prove that her impact extended far beyond her individual relationship with Shai. Emma, wearing a miniature Thunder jersey that the team had custom-made for her, addressed the entire roster about her approach to maintaining dreams and hope during difficult circumstances. "Hello, basketball Thunder players," Emma said, standing confidently in front of men who were more than twice her height. "I want to tell you about how dreams make you stronger, even when scary things happen." Emma explained her theory that focusing on exciting future possibilities helped both physical and mental performance, regardless of current challenges or setbacks. When you're worried about losing games or getting hurt, you should think about all the amazing things you're going to do with basketball. Like helping kids learn to believe in themselves, or showing people that working hard makes dreams come true. The players listened with rapt attention as Emma described her own experience using dream visualization to cope with medical treatments and maintain optimism about her future. "Dreams don't make bad things go away," Emma explained with remarkable wisdom for an 8-year-old. "But they make you strong enough to handle bad things without forgetting about good things." However, the most powerful moment of Emma's presentation came when she asked each player to share one dream they had that was bigger than basketball. Veteran center Mike Johnson shared his dream of opening a community center in his hometown. Rookie guard Tyler Williams talked about his goal of becoming a motivational speaker for young people facing adversity. Even Shai shared his renewed commitment to supporting his father's dream of writing a book about his basketball experiences. "See," Emma said after hearing all their dreams. "You all have beautiful things to think about that make you stronger and happier. When you remember those dreams, basketball becomes more fun because you're playing for bigger reasons." The session concluded with Emma leading the team in creating their own dream wall in the training facility, where each player's goals and aspirations were displayed as daily reminders of their purposes beyond individual performance. But the most meaningful outcome of Emma's involvement with the Thunder was how it changed Shai's approach to his father's cancer battle. Instead of focusing on fear and sadness about his father's diagnosis, Shai began helping Vaughn pursue the dreams and goals he had always postponed. They planned a trip to Ghana to explore their family's African heritage. Shai arranged for his father to collaborate with a professional writer on his autobiography. Most importantly, they established the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander Youth Basketball Academy to provide coaching and mentorship for underserved young players. "Emma taught me that the best way to honor someone you love isn't to be sad about what might happen to them," Shai explained during a media interview about his father's condition. "It's to help them accomplish their dreams while they still can." The approach proved to be transformative for both Vaughn's treatment response and the family's emotional well-being. Focusing on meaningful projects and future possibilities provided purpose and joy that complemented medical treatment. 6 months later, Vaughn's cancer was in remission, and he had completed the first draft of his autobiography. While the medical improvement couldn't be attributed solely to maintaining hope and pursuing dreams, the family was convinced that Emma's philosophy had contributed to the positive outcome. But perhaps the most important long-term impact of Emma's wisdom was the establishment of the Emma Martinez Foundation for Pediatric Hope, funded by Shai and the Thunder organization. The foundation provided dream fulfillment programs for children facing serious illnesses, educational support for families dealing with medical challenges, and training for healthcare workers on incorporating hope and future-focused thinking into treatment plans. Emma, now 9 years old and in remission from her leukemia, served as the foundation's chief advisor and continued to visit hospitals throughout Oklahoma to share her dream philosophy with other children and families. "People think kids can't teach grown-ups important things," Emma said during the foundation's first annual fundraising event. But kids know lots of things about hope and dreams that grown-ups sometimes forget when they get worried about too many things. Emma's vision of becoming a teacher was supported through a full scholarship program that would fund her education from elementary school through college, ensuring that her dream of helping children develop courage and hope would become reality. During the fundraising event, Shai reflected on how meeting Emma had changed his perspective on adversity, hope, and the power of maintaining dreams during life's most challenging moments. Emma taught me that dreams aren't just about what we want to accomplish, Shai told the audience of donors and supporters. They're about who we choose to become when facing difficulties. When we maintain hope and work toward meaningful goals, we become stronger than our circumstances. As Emma took the stage to share her plans for her future classroom and her continued work helping other children, Shai realized that sometimes the most important teachers come in the smallest packages, with the biggest hearts and the clearest vision of what really matters. The child who had taught Shai to dream again had proven that hope, resilience, and the power of maintaining beautiful visions for the future can transform not just individual lives, but entire communities of people who learn to believe that tomorrow can be better than today, regardless of what challenges they're facing right now. And in Oklahoma City, where a pediatric oncology wing now had its own dream wall, and children battling serious illnesses had access to programs that nurtured hope alongside medical treatment, they understood that sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from people who haven't yet learned that certain things are supposed to be impossible.